Hey, here's another chapter of my book. It's called Make Decisions with Respect to Yourself. Just so you know, this chapter will probably change a lot. One night, I realized that to live a truly fulfilling life, I must make smart decisions that align with my principles, ethics, morals, and values. To disregard any of those for the promise of success, for instance, is a demonstration of a weaker mind. Over the years, I've come to know myself extremely well. And I've learned how always asking questions when faced with an opportunity that doesn't sit right with me is most beneficial. Like, how will this benefit me or others? What are the downsides? What is the best possible outcome? How about the worst? Can I take this on and still fulfill existing aspirations? What will this prevent me from doing? How does this fit into my long term goals? Should I be pursuing something else? We must weigh the pros and cons and explore hypotheticals to help us gauge what is to be expected. It's a way to prepare and recognize if something is worthy of our time and attention. Not every opportunity is the right one to take. Do the long term costs outweigh. Oh, sorry, this is a question. Do the long term costs outweigh the short term benefits and vice versa? Are you being taken advantage of? Saying no doesn't mean you're afraid. It means you think for yourself and you stand for something. There are wrong opportunities for all of us. It takes a truly brave and intelligent individual to be able to say no. When you have an unhealthy obsession and give unhealthy importance to things like success, money, and fame, you become a tool anyone can manipulate and a puppeteer. You suddenly have a price someone can buy or sell you. A dancing monkey with no dignity at the mercy of people's promises, so eager to submit and get down on your knees if it means you get to climb one more rung of the success ladder. You're desperate to do anything and everything for more and more and more, yet always so willing to chip off less and less and less of the person you once were and the principles you once lived by. I'm learning to not be afraid to struggle if it means I make decisions with respect to myself and avoid people who I don't respect either. There is always a better way to reach success, and that is what I'm pursuing. Maybe it'll take me longer, but if the reward is that I'm surrounded by incredibly safe people and living an incredible life in the end, then it's worth it. Stop defining success the way that others have. Define things for yourself. Building bridges to your dreams comes in all different sizes and shapes, and there's a wide variety of ways to accomplish paving that road and crossing those bridges. Be smart, not desperate. Be hopeful, not pathetic. I made a list of what I wanted to accomplish every day to move towards my dreams and a better version of myself, and I'm starting there. Hope you're doing something magical for you. Make lists. Get to know yourself and your journey. So that's the chapter. There's a lot that's going to change because I wrote this before going into my recovery, my healing. So there are things that I'm reading here that I know that my mind has kind of changed on, or areas that I'm like, I could expand upon that a little bit better. So for instance, where I write, stop defining success the way that others have. Define things for yourself. So I know that I can definitely go into more detail about that, and I want to. Basically, that message is supposed to say that when you understand the nuance of life and the nuance amongst each of us for living truly different lives than the other, when we kind of understand that very well, then we can look towards the successes of other people and we can find joy and excitement and inspiration from people who have figured out a way to make the cards work in their favor so that they can have a successful or well taken care of life. However, something that I noticed people would do, and during my more struggling eras in my life, always kind of annoyed me at the time, was when people talk about, if I can do it, you can do it. And I love the message at heart, because the people who have achieved a lot are trying to inspire you and I. And I think that's a lovely sentiment. However, I do think that sometimes the wording of that can leave a little bit of a sour note sometimes. I know for myself, because for instance, because our lives are all nuanced, then that means that the solutions that will work for me to get towards my version of success, my version of a fulfilling life, is going to be different than every other person. And that's because we are uniquely different. We all offer something that nobody else can. Even if it's in similar or same fields, we're still bringing something, if even on a microscopic or infinitesimal level, because nobody is like us. There's nothing that can be replicated like us. So if we focus on, if we can just be inspired by somebody's journey and then wish, and then, be inspired for ourselves to work towards figuring out, okay, I like this from this person's story. That seems like that could work or help me in mine. Okay, this is inspiring. However, this doesn't apply to me because I don't have the same resource or the same network. Kind of cherry picking from every inspiring story you hear until you kind of have the blueprint for your way towards your success. That's always going to be different than anybody else's. So when people do say, if I can make it happen, you can make it happen, it's like at heart, the message is very sweet, because it's saying, if you believe in yourself like I believed in myself, you will find a way for your success as I found a way for mine. That's like a much better way of wording it, because it doesn't sound like someone invalidating any possibility that may exist for someone's life, that no matter how much they try to turn the tides, they can't or don't, right? So stop worrying about how other people have achieved success, other than to just cherry pick what might align with you and your journey, your specific struggles, and what might help you to overcome them, and then overcome your mental obstacles, so that way you can make something happen. So worry not so much about what other people are doing, and worry about what you can do for yourself. Da, 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 da. The other thing is, I said I made a list of what I wanted to accomplish every day. It's like, yes, I do lists, but I want to be a little bit more like honest. It's not that I was trying to hide anything. It's just I probably just didn't feel like writing about that. You know what I mean? About myself in that way. But I used to make, and still do, I make lists of like what I want to accomplish, what I'm trying to get done. I don't always follow them. So that's like where, I'm very human, just like all of us. Like, sometimes I'll get to a lot of things on my list, but sometimes I won't. And with my ADHD, it's like I kind of have to make lists. Otherwise, I will forget and just end up being productive in a lot of ways, but not really towards the things I actually need to get done. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's that one.